for 4 other people still missing in Mobile Bay. And in just a few moments, the incredible story of one woman who was on the boat caught in the storm is chilling and really an amazing story of survival.
Walls were crumbling right and left, and I turned to my son and I said, oh my God, it's the earthquake.
And this morning, the death toll in Nepal is rising as search and rescue crews try to locate and rescue people trapped in buildings flattened by this massive earthquake. Thousands are now homeless, and many of them are sleeping outdoors in freezing temperatures, even some rain. Afraid to be indoors as strong aftershocks continue to rattle the region.
And as we bring it back stateside, giving you a snapshot of the big weather stories that we're following here back at home, getting you recharged for the weekend that was and, of course, the week ahead. A couple of the big stories, it's still chilly in the Northeast. You had record low temperatures yesterday, still cool today. And along with that, the April showers returning. So we'll time that out for you for your Monday. But still very much a big story, the stormy south. And on top of the regular showers and thunderstorms, still concerned about the severe threat that we find today, especially in through the southern plains, including Texas. So Paul will time that out over the next few days.
And speaking of storms, take a look at this. This is the radar from yesterday, and we have Mobile Bay highlighted there because watch the timing. As we head throughout the morning, we're seeing rain across Louisiana and then eventually across Mississippi, and then boom, right there, right about 3, 4 o'clock local time yesterday afternoon, this line of thunderstorms, gusty winds, and plenty of lightning came roaring across Mobile Bay. And unfortunately, a lot of people were in the wrong place at the wrong time. In fact, the Coast Guard this morning still searching for 4 people reported missing after that line of severe thunderstorms capsized sailboats during a regatta in Mobile, Alabama, and across that bay yesterday. Wind gusts of 73 miles per hour were clocked as the storms raced across the bay. And sadly, Alabama officials reported 1 person was killed. About 100 sailboats were competing in the Dolphin Island race when those thunderstorms blew up around 4:30 yesterday.
And dozens of people were pulled alive from Mobile Bay, but you can imagine how scary it was. Earlier on Weekend Recharge, we spoke to a woman that was boating in this regatta when these storms hit.
And Susan Staber-Kengel told us her incredible story of trying to save her boat from capsizing in the huge winds and rough surf.
First off, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. I can't imagine how difficult it is for you this morning to think about what happened, but if you can describe the best you can what happened.
Good morning. It came out of nowhere. We were, the storm was behind us, north of us, and we had dropped our jib and still had the main up, and I cranked the engine, and we were motoring south. It was just raining. Then lightning came, and I sent the crew below, 5 kids. I was skippering all female, and I just motor sailed, and then all of a sudden it hit like a wall of white within seconds. And the boat was completely just tossed around like on riding a rodeo. And it shredded the main within seconds, and the sail got all caught up under the boat, and we couldn't get the boom loose because it got a knot in it when we were being tossed around. And we just held on. I mean, we were an inch from capsizing. We were almost all ready to, I was just staying on top of the boat, practically standing up, laying on the floor. And all my kids and their friends and 2 other adults were below, standing on the side of the boat underneath. And we were ready to jump. And finally, the boat kind of righted itself, and I started throwing everybody life jackets, and I said, we're going to ride it out. Just hang on. We're better on the boat unless it flips.
And Susan, obviously, you're a veteran sailor. Have you ever gone through any type of a weather event like you did yesterday?
Never. That was like a hurricane, and I thought it was my exaggeration when I was out there. But it was horrific, and it was so fast. And we just thought weather was coming. We didn't know that was coming.
Now,
and everybody was like, why didn't you throw an anchor? I was like, it's not possible. He had 15-foot seas coming over. We were sideways. There was no way to even get on top of the boat.
and having gotten through it, what was going through your mind? Did you have any indication of just how bad it was going to be for other sailors?
I had a good idea because I had already seen one capsize. No, I didn't realize there was going to be death. And I didn't know we were still going to have some missing. But when I was looking at it, I stayed calm, but I was looking at death, and I thought, we're all going to have to jump. And we weren't ready for this. I mean, at that point, we didn't even have life jackets on.
Well, Susan, again, you had no idea this was coming. There was no warning. There was no weather briefing before you guys set sail?
We knew bad weather was coming. We didn't know we were going to have a wind shear of 90 miles an hour. we just thought it was going to be a storm, a regular storm. You know, it's completely different from what we hit.
And now going forward, having experienced this, first off, how is everybody doing this morning, and how will this, or if it will, change how you sail in the future?
When I hear any weather is coming of any degree, we will have our life jackets on. There's really nothing I could have done differently other than that, because it was so fast. But if it's forecasted to have any chance of bad weather, I'm not going.
And that was Susan Stieber-Kangel, a boater in yesterday's Mobile Regatta, and she said that rough weather lasted about half an hour.
Yeah, it certainly did, and it was, she said, seas, waves, perhaps 15 more feet or so on Mobile Bay, and they had no place to go. Well, let's take a closer look at what's going on in terms of the forecast for other things going on outdoors, like the Toad Lake Music Festival.
Yeah, another Alabama event affected by the weather. We'll catch up with the festival leader.
Now at Boston Market, new slow-braised pulled pork. So tender, it falls apart. Topped with zesty barbecue or garlic citrus sauce. A bold new taste from the slow roasting experts at Boston Market.
6 smoky hours, 1 tasty dish. Slow-braised pulled pork, now at Boston Market.
Introducing new Flonase Allergy Relief Nasal Spray. This changes everything. New Flonase outperforms a leading allergy pill, so you will inhale life. When we breathe in allergens, our bodies react by overproducing 6 key inflammatory substances that cause our symptoms. Most allergy pills only control 1 substance. Flonase controls 6, and 6 is greater than 1. So roll down your windows, hug your pet, dust off some memories, make new ones. New Flonase. 6 is greater than 1. This changes everything.
I started my Camry. Ran a race most wouldn't dream of starting. Chose to take down a monster. And realized when it's dark enough, you can see the stars. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
My goal was to finally get in shape, not to be focusing on my moderate to severe chronic plaque psoriasis. So I finally made a decision to talk to my dermatologist about Humira. Humira works inside my body to target and help block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to my symptoms. In clinical trials, most adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis saw 75% skin clearance, and the majority of people were clear or almost clear in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ask your dermatologist about Humira, because with Humira, clear skin is possible.
They may claim good performance, but typically cordless vacuums deliver weak suction. The issue originates here. To make their vacuum smaller, most others make their motor smaller and less powerful. But at Dyson, we've invented the small but powerful V6 digital motor, spinning at up to 110,000 RPM, giving our latest cordless vacuums twice the suction of all others.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, wind. I think I just made Mother Nature my bet. One man's trash. This is perfect. Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers, tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weekend Recharge. Check these pictures out coming into us from Jacksonville, Florida, of thunderstorms and the winds bringing down trees here. A lot of branches thrown around this neighborhood. One tree actually falling onto the roof of the home here. Even the carport nearly pushed over on top of a car.
And major damage near Jacksonville, Florida. This is in San Marco. The trees toppled over, branches thrown around by the winds gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Cars crushed under the weight of trees.
Yeah, those aren't just little saplings. Those are big, mature, heavy trees. If you ever tried moving a down tree, you know how heavy they can be. Hey, welcome back to Weekend Recharge. I'm Paul Goodlow along with Maria LaRosa.
And we want to get you ahead of everything and talk about where the severe weather happened, but also plan for today. And this is a look at how things looked yesterday as far as the storm reports. A total of 170, but you can see of those were 130 wind reports.
Yeah, most of those were winds. And yes, they're not, you don't see any red circles, which would be tornado reports. But we talked to the National Weather Service office out of Fort Worth and Mark Fox, and he also said that you can have even stronger wind damage just from straight line winds than you can with some tornadoes. And again, people should not underestimate the power of these winds, even just with your strong to even severe thunderstorms and not only tornado warnings. Maria?
And that's right. We want to get you ready because it does include all of those threats. So we're going to get specific, city specific, because we have a couple that we really want to give specific heads up to. But you see the general area in red is where we're concerned about the strong winds, the damaging winds, hail, and the heavy rainfall. Amarillo, Oklahoma City, down to San Antonio. You could still see a very powerful thunderstorm, say Houston and into New Orleans. But again, it is this area in particular that we're concerned about. In fact, we have a Torcon out today for Central Texas, a 3 out of 10, which means a 3 in 10 chance within that 50-mile radius of that point of seeing a tornado. So it's low on the scale, but not zero. Want to get you ready, Oklahoma City, because for most of the day, it's going to be pretty nice. Late this evening, towards the overnight, we have those heftier showers and thunderstorms coming through. And then for a city like Dallas, kind of the same deal. Maybe a spotty shower or thunderstorm, and any that do get going could be strong even as we get into the afternoon, but also continuing into the late night hours. Dallas, certainly one of those cities that we're concerned about, maybe some rotation with some of these stronger storms.
Well, speaking of storms across the South, well, music fans flocked to Dothan, Alabama this weekend for the 4th annual Toad Lick Music Festival. Now, the festival features some of the biggest names in country and rock music, but strong winds and heavy rain last night kept the show from going on as scheduled.
And joining us now by the phone is festival owner Chris Gilbert. Chris, we appreciate your time again this morning. We spoke yesterday about the potential to see some strong thunderstorms. A lot of posts on social media. The festival did have a weather delay.
Yes, ma'am, we did. We had a pretty bad storm rolling here late yesterday afternoon that intensified right before it got here dramatically. And when it hit us yesterday afternoon around 5:30 or 6, it wiped us out. It wiped all of our equipment out, our sound and lighting equipment. It basically blew us off the map. So we did the best we could do. We kept everybody safe. We had 10,000 people in the middle of a field. And we were able to keep those guys safe. We had a plan in place, and we got them to safety, and no one was injured. That's the best thing, and we're proud to say we kept those guys safe.
And Chris, you said it destroyed the equipment and the stage. It was supposed to go on again today. Are there any plans for anything happening today, or is today basically a washout? You're basically trying to pick up the pieces?
Yes, sir. We're picking up what's left. We had some winds here that blew everything away, literally. We couldn't put a show on for a couple of weeks if we had to. So we're going to pick the pieces up and thank the good Lord that everybody is safe and no injuries, and we're going to move forward.
So the event is canceled then today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What about refunds or people who have tickets for today? How can they get their money back?
Well, actually, there were no shows scheduled for today. It was a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday show.
Okay.
So there were no shows for today.
Okay. All right. Well, we, again, appreciate your time. And like you, we are very happy to hear that nobody was injured, because it really did get pretty scary there for a time in southern Alabama obviously.
Yeah, out there in the Wiregrass, saw the forecast for Dothan there. Plenty of sunshine today, so it really is just luck of the draw sometimes when you have these outdoor gatherings. It's too bad, you know, it wasn't for today compared to yesterday. Temperatures moving back to the upper 80s. A little steamy as well as the humidity on the increase across lower Alabama.
Well, still more to come on Weekend Recharge. Coming up next, it's time for the 7-day stretch. Already getting you ready for the end of April and the start of May, if you can believe it.
Yeah, we'll have the forecast for a lot of regions, including places like Pittsburgh. Talk about you're waking up to sunshine right now in the 40s. How warm will you get? Where's spring? Details next.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
A little bit here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Thank you for being a sailor and my daddy. Thank you, Mom, for protecting my future.
Thank you for being my hero and my dad.
Military families are thankful for many things. The legacy of USAA Auto Insurance could be one of them. Our world-class service earned USAA the top spot in a study of the most recommended large companies in America. If you're current or former military or their family, see if you're eligible to get an auto insurance quote.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
The open road. It takes on many forms. From the scenic highways to the rugged trails. From the sand-covered to the well-traveled. They lead us to the beauty of nature and the beauty of simple pleasures. The open road is alive and well and waiting to take us to Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
You guys, I think she's here. She's here.
Is that her?
No, Valerie said she's driving a Buick.
Sure doesn't look like a Buick.
Take a fresh look at Buick. It just might surprise you.
I'm outside. Where are you? I'm right here. I'm in the Buick. I don't see a Buick.
That's not a Buick. That's what I told him.
Wow. This is
Nice.
Now current lessees get a sign and drive lease on this Enclave for around $329 per month when you switch to Buick.
Skin's ability to retain moisture weakens with age. New Gold Bond Strength and Resilience has skin-plumping moisturizers and proteins from the Resurrection Plant to bring skin back to life. 84% saw an improvement in skin texture in 5 days. Gold Bond Strength and Resilience.
Living with diabetes, it's really important for me to take care of my skin. It's a schedule. It's must do every day.
Gold Bond Diabetics Dry Skin Relief. 9 out of 10 saw noticeable improvement in just 1 hour. Dry skin is under control.
Gold Bond really works.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
and it just hit us,
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under sunny skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, take a look. We're tracking some storms across Florida right now, and you can see they're fairly isolated. A lot of the rest of the state looking all the bit of the Sunshine State, but keep in mind they could be packing some brief gusty winds and certainly lightning possible, but definitely heavy rainfall. Look out Cedar Key in particular, and about ready to move into the south side of Gainesville and cross there 75.
A little bit of small hail possible with these storms as well, but they should be in, they should be out, but you know, still definitely have an eye to that Weather Channel app. Things could be changing across northern Florida. All right, time now for a little stretch.
Oh, that hurt. But, well, you know, one of the big stories in Florida is certainly the heat, right? We're talking about potential record heat there, but, you know, 96 in Miami today. Yowzers.
Water temperature, though, 83 degrees in South Beach. That's one place to cool off. But also, you want to cool off quickly, head to the Mile High City of Denver. Got a live picture for you in Denver. 50 degrees for the high today. Right now, we're in the 40s. And yes, the ground is wet because the rain is coming down. But as you head across the Eisenhower Tunnel, as you head west on 70, we got snow the end of April. Last week of April, we have snow dumping here across the Rockies. That will continue today, even up towards Montana, Wyoming, even Idaho. Still more snow in late April.
All right, well, you go from Sunday into Monday, and you see in the Northeast, it's dry right now for Sunday, so looking pretty good, but maybe not the case as we get into Monday. Boston, one of those cities, too, that you're looking at maybe some showers and staying on the cool side. You see the clouds, maybe some sun from time to time, but 49 degrees is kind of as good as it's going to get.
Yeah, that's, you know, this is our spring. Well, after our winter, it's not bad. Okay, we'll take 49 degrees after, 11 feet of snow. Meanwhile, again, more thunderstorms popping up, pushing across the I-35 corridor, the I-45 corridor, and then into southeastern areas of Houston, of Texas, as well as Louisiana. And perhaps once again, storms could roll across Mobile Bay as we head on towards Monday, and still watch some rain showers here across the high plains and even the front range of Colorado.
And you're seeing a big temperature change across the southern plains after seeing the 80s. How about you, Dallas, into the 60s? Looking there right now as we forecast the potential for severe weather, we want to get a check-in now with Dr. Greg Postel with more.
Well, after a month of pretty warm weather across the southern plains and the Gulf Coast states, gosh, early next week, big difference. We're looking at Tuesday's highs in parts of Texas, more like February's highs. How about that? That's quite a change. Back to you.
Yeah, big time change when Dallas on Tuesday is 62 and New York is 66. Boston coming in the double nickel on Tuesday. Wednesday, well, we still have some temperatures slowly warming up here. There's spring. We found it, at least for a day again. 61 in Boston, 72 in New York City. We are driving back towards Chicago, where we're enjoying 60 degrees.
Not so dry, though, in the southeast and parts of the mid-Atlantic. So Birmingham, Atlanta, Charlotte, count on some showers here on Wednesday.
As we head towards Dallas, 72 degrees as we head on towards Wednesday. Even Thursday, temperatures slowly warming up, 76 there. But once again, the plains, Texas, we are dry there. That's some nice weather for you finally after this week, and scattered showers, perhaps a few thunderstorms from the southeast, the mid-Atlantic, into the Carolinas as well.
And how about some spring break Minneapolis? Taking a live look out there right now. You've got gorgeous blue skies, but you're in the 40s. But by Thursday, not so much. You're cranking up the heat there a little bit into the 70s, and it's not just one day. You're going to have it from Thursday and into Friday.
Yeah, by Friday, Minneapolis, you're at 75 degrees and a chance of a few scattered rain showers across the region as we continue to look at the Twin Cities. And now we're back on us. But Dallas, again, another dry day. Now we're warming back up to the low 80s for your Friday afternoon, the first day of May.
The first day of May. I can't believe April is over. But you know what May 2nd is? The day after May Day, but also Derby Day. Yeah, and so from Friday to Saturday, keeping an eye on the Louisville area, you're looking pretty good. Looks like a nice dry track.
Finally, we have a large chunk of the country having a nice Saturday. Boston, we're dry, slowly trying to warm up, trying to get you back in that garden. 67 in New York City, Atlanta 80, Auburn, Alabama, Bo Bikes, Bama going on this coming Saturday. Weather there looks like a high in the low 80s.
All right, and also into the 80s into Dallas. I want to keep an eye, though, on the heat in the southwest, 97 in Phoenix.
Hey, we're back tracking today's severe weather threats coming up right after your local on the 8s.
Great suckers. Your car insurance goes up because of their bad driving. People try all sorts of ways to get rid of them. If you're sick of paying more than your fair share, get Snapshot from Progressive and see just how much your good driving could save you.
I've got plans, and this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
We all enter this world with a shout. Robert! And we see no reason to stop. So see leading programs and tools that help people stay on medicines as their doctors prescribed. It could help save tens of thousands of lives every year. And that would be something worth shouting about. CVS Health, because health is everything.
And just like that, the snow is gone. And off you go. And every frozen second spent willing this day to come is just a warm, fading memory.
Hi, I'm Brenda, and this is day 1 of my Hydroxycut transformation.
We're gonna live free.
I lost 37 pounds. Look at the new me.
Hydroxycut is America's #1 selling weight loss supplement brand. Lose weight your way. Mix and match gummies, tablets, and drink mix.
Hydroxycut has completely changed my life. I can finally fit into the clothes that I love.
Hydroxycut lets you lose weight your way and look for new Hydroxycut appetite control to help curb hunger for hours.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind. I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers, tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under sunny skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Watching Weekend Recharge. So glad you can join us on this Sunday. I'm Maria Rosa.
And I'm Paul Goodlow.
As always on Weekend Recharge, we want to show you how the weather's impacting communities, big and small, and one of the best ways that we think that we can do that is by checking out the local newspapers.
Let's check out the front page of the Daily Courier out of Prescott, Arizona, and the headline reads, Whiskey off-road, chilly rain doesn't dampen races or tunes this weekend. As we know, this is the time of the year when weather and weekends often clash. Just about every community in this country has some sort of outdoor sporting event, concert, even a combination of those things, as well as festivals. They all happen on the weekends.
All right, next up we have Anniston Star in Anniston, Alabama. And you know, parts of Alabama just experienced some severe storms yesterday. This is actually a picture from the tornado outbreak back in 2011. 4 years later, there are still areas in full recovery mode. But the good news is residents say they are now more prepared for severe weather, and many of them have a newfound respect for Mother Nature.
Yeah, Bobex Bama again in Alabama next weekend benefits recovery and shelters as well there. And also one more headline here on the front page of the Daily News in New York. It's a Nepal earthquake, and obviously this story has captured worldwide attention.
And one story that we continue to follow this morning, one person is dead after several storms toppled several sailboats in Mobile Bay, Alabama. Crews are still searching for 4 more who are missing. It happened at the annual Mobile Bay Regatta in Dauphin Island. Winds gusted nearly 55 miles an hour at the time, also clocking in with a 73-mile-per-hour wind. Heavy, blinding rain, too. More storms possible today along the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, that's some pretty impressive video you're seeing right there, and that was actually from the shoreline, even bigger waves out in the middle of the bay. And talk about impressive, and close up here of a landspout tornado in West Texas near the town of Lorraine. Stan Cole, retired fire chief who shot this video on Wednesday. By the way, he's standing about 100 yards from this dangerous tornado, and we do not recommend getting so close to something as dangerous as this out there. Do not try this at home.
All right, let's take a look at the top 3 stories, and it does include, once again, severe weather. Once again, in Texas and Oklahoma, our focus for today. So damaging winds, spotty hail, and yes, the tornado threat as well. We'll talk about the Torcon and the timing coming up.
As we push on towards tomorrow, so does that severe risk. Once again, East Texas, the I-45 corridor now pushing eastward, and by Tuesday it's pushing rain, and so can't rule out the risk of some nasty storms pushing on into Mississippi and Alabama, even southern Georgia and Florida back into it.
And meanwhile, it is spring chill, April showers too in parts of the Midwest and the Northeast. That area of low pressure offshore, it's just keeping that cool northeasterly flow and adding that chill to the temperatures, which are below average. So that'll continue, but we'll let you know if there's any sign of warm up.
We'll get back to your forecast here across the country coming up, but back to one of our top stories. Here's what we know now about that massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake that shook Nepal yesterday. Now this morning, another aftershock rocking the region, measuring 6.7 in the magnitude. More than 2,000 people are dead. Officials expect that number to continue to rise.
And walls were crumbled, houses destroyed, and large cracks formed in streets. Thousands of people in Kathmandu spent the night outside, just too afraid to go back in their homes for fear of those aftershocks.
And about 100 miles away on Mount Everest, the quake set off massive avalanches, killing at least 17 people, injuring dozens more. This, according to the president of the Nepal Mountaineering Association, making it the deadliest disaster in the history of mountaineering on Everest.
We want to talk more about the power of this massive earthquake in Nepal, and joining us via Skype is Scott Bennett from the U.S. Geological Survey in Golden, Colorado. Scott, thanks for joining us again. This 7.8 magnitude earthquake, very powerful itself, but now we're hearing about those strong aftershocks. How long can we expect to see these types of strong aftershocks?
Yes, here at the U.S. Geological Survey, we've been recording aftershocks for the last 30 hours since the main earthquake, the main 7.8 earthquake. We had a 6.6 within the first hour after the main shock, and about 8 hours ago, we recorded a 6.7 aftershock with near the epicenter, to the east of the epicenter of the original earthquake.
And Scott, are earthquakes common to this area? Because a lot of people are surprised that Nepal was hit by an earthquake.
It actually should not be a surprise. The plate tectonic setting of India and Nepal is a collision zone between the Indian subcontinent and the tectonic plate of Europe and Asia. These plates have been colliding for millions of years, producing large earthquakes like this several thousands of times over the last tens of millions of years. We know there was a magnitude 8 earthquake, for example, about 240 kilometers to the southeast in 1934. That killed over 10,000 people. In this particular stretch of this on-land subduction zone, we had an earthquake about the year 1505 was the last major earthquake at this stretch of the subduction zone. So it has been a few hundred years, but it's no surprise that a major earthquake has happened here once again.
All right, Scott Bennett with the U.S. Geological Survey. Appreciate your perspective this morning and giving our viewers an idea of just, the extent and the power of this event.
And again, if you want to help, there's a lot of charities doing that help right now, including the Red Cross. They're mobilizing a huge effort there. And again, it's a whole list of various charities that you can donate to help in the relief efforts. We have an entire list, even some links to our website, weather.com.
And just kind of recapping some of the tidbits with this, we have a 7.8 magnitude, again, happened yesterday, 50 miles northwest of Kathmandu. And just put in perspective, they're saying it's the worst earthquake in that area in more than 80 years.
Aftershock this morning of 6.7, and they've already experienced more than 24 aftershocks since yesterday. And the strongest, again, is 6.7 this morning. You can see all the circles there of the aftershocks across the area. And it continues to be a huge concern. Again, Everest not too far away, killing people with avalanches there. That area also is not stable. The forecast, temperatures drop to the 50s overnight, 70s in the day, and a chance of rain showers into Monday.
In a work world, take time for Sunday. Just know that your truck has a little thing for Monday.
Thanks for this Oreo caramel shake, Kara.
Caramel for Kara. That makes sense.
And Janine for peanut butter.
I don't get it. Why?
Because she reminds me of my ex-girlfriend Janine, who was nuts.
25 real ice cream shakes, all half price after 8 p.m. This is how you Sonic.
Stick vacuums are supposed to make life easier. But that hasn't always been the case. Only the latest Dyson cordless vacuums have a powerful V6 digital motor to generate more suction than all other stick vacuums. Even corded ones.
Morning's got you a little... Grab the good energy of Quaker Oats, one of nature's most perfect energy sources. It's how we help keep go-getters like you going and getting, one bite at a time. Quaker Up.
If you're an adult with type 2 diabetes and your A1C is not at goal with certain diabetes pills or daily insulin, your doctor may be talking about adding medication to help lower your A1C. Ask your doctor if adding once-a-week Tanzium is right for you. Once-a-week Tanzium is an injectable prescription medicine that may improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes, along with diet and exercise. Once-a-week Tanzium works by helping your body release its own natural insulin when it's needed. Tanzium is not recommended as the first medicine to treat diabetes or in people with severe stomach or intestinal problems. Tanzium is not insulin. It is not used to treat type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis and has not been studied with mealtime insulin. Do not take Tanzium if you or your family have a history of medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you're allergic to Tanzium or any of its ingredients. Stop using Tanzium and call your doctor right away if you experience symptoms of an allergic reaction, which may include itching, rash, or difficulty breathing. If you have signs of pancreatitis, such as severe stomach pain that will not go away and may move to your back, with or without vomiting. Or if you have symptoms of thyroid cancer, which include a lump or swelling in your neck, hoarseness, trouble swallowing, or shortness of breath. Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medicines you're taking. And if you're nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Taking Tanzium with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects with Tanzium include diarrhea, nausea, injection site reactions, cough, back pain, and cold or flu symptoms. Some serious side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney failure. Ask your doctor if adding once-a-week Tanzium is right for you. Go to Tanzium.com to learn if you may be eligible to receive Tanzium free for 12 months. Make every week a Tanzium week.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get 6 months special financing on purchases of $199 or more with your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Currently in our area, 89 degrees under sunny skies. today. Sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weekend Recharge. And finally, this crazy winter in the Northeast is behind us, but it is still prime time for skiing, believe it or not, and snowboarding in some places. In my Weekend in Play, let's head out to the Killington Ski Resort in Vermont and Michael Joseph. Good morning, Michael, and thanks for joining us. And yeah, it's already April. We're talking about May is on Friday. How long will the season go there in Killington?
Good morning. Yeah, thanks for having me. As you can probably tell, it's warm here, and we're looking at hoping to operate into June. We made it to mid-May last year, and we're hoping for at least June 1st this season.
Now, again, you're talking about two back-to-back great winters all across the Northeast New England in terms. As you head towards the spring, June, May, and June, how do those weather months and the weather you typically see in the warmer months, how does it impact mountain operations?
Luckily, so far, it's been a really cold spring, just like it was a cold winter, so the snow has held on really well. But in preparation for kind of the impending thaw every spring, we do a big major snowmaking push up to the end of February. So we have a huge stockpile on some of our signature spring trails, 20 to 30 feet of base depth, and we expect that snow to linger for many more weeks here at Killington.
And I know a lot of people head to the west every year for skiing. Have you heard of people canceling those traditional vacations where they go, say, west of the Mississippi to go skiing across New England, go skiing there in Vermont?
Sure, yeah, I have heard some folks, even some folks who have moved out west traveling back east to check out the snow this season. It has been a banner year, and there's so many great resorts in Vermont and New England with good proximity to Boston, New York City. So, we're really easy to access, and we've definitely seen a lot of traffic from out west the past couple of months here.
I know several years ago we almost had that winter without a winter across the Northeast New England. What does it mean for business and the economy as you have two stellar back-to-back years of snow across the region?
Oh, it's just been great. We've seen skier visits about 10% up over even last season, which was an incredible snow year as well, as you mentioned. And then we're seeing some major investment across all the resorts in Vermont. But here at Killington, putting over $3 million into summer attractions and a mountain coaster and a couple of other things here. So we're excited to be able to reinvest that capital back into the resort and stay open all year round for some family fun.
And speaking of the snow you got this year, we know Boston picked up over 11 feet. How much snow did Killington get this year?
We've gotten about 200 inches so far, and just in the last week, it snowed off and on, flurries, and then some actual accumulation of a couple inches too. So it's very possible we could get some more snow here in April or even into May. So we're holding on and looking to hopefully get a couple more storms to come through.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for joining us this morning, Michael. And hopefully, maybe hopefully next season, another stellar year there across the Northeast and New England. Maria?
Well, it certainly still feels like it could snow in parts of the Northeast. That's for sure. You're feeling the chill right now, and take a look at a few of the cities, right? Pittsburgh on the left, you got Buffalo on the right, D.C. on the lower left, and Atlantic City. Now, if you weren't right there, you would think that maybe it's nice and warm and sunny, but it's just sunny because it's not quite warm yet. Let's talk about that chill in the Northeast and how you can prepare for it, because we've got a few more days where it may not quite feel like April. And along with that, not just the chill, but you have the clouds and some showers. So a lot to get through. We do have still a dip in the jet stream, so it's keeping the clouds and keeping that cooler flow over the Northeast. And now, talk about cool, it's right out of the northeast in some cases, so there's not a good chance for you to try and recover your temperatures when you have that northerly flow. And we've seen it, we feel it out there right now. 57 in New York, it's 54 in Boston, 53 in Pittsburgh by the time you get to the lunch hour, into the afternoon, struggling to get into the 60s here in D.C. And all over the map, temperatures are below average. Now, granted, not by much, but again, you got to put in perspective. We're just ready. We're so ready to have a nice, consistent, warm stretch of weather. Not quite there yet. Now, by tomorrow, you're looking at a few rain showers, but notice the pink. Yeah, it will be chilly enough in some spots off of Lake Erie. Also, the higher elevations. It will be mainly higher elevations. You get some wet snowflakes in there mixed in the Green and White Mountains. It'll be fun to check in on Mount Washington tomorrow, the observatory there. Should stay dry south of Philly towards Baltimore and D.C., but regardless, you're probably going to have some clouds, and again, on the cool side. And then by tomorrow night, moving into New England. So let's keep our eye on New England. For you, Boston, I mean, 40s and some light showers by Tuesday, only into the mid-50s, but the cloud cover sticking around. And then you have Buffalo with the showers for tomorrow. You do get some sun and clouds by Tuesday, and yes, temperatures nudging up just a little bit into the 60s.
Well, from the northeast, New England, back to the plains in Texas, severe thunderstorms will rumble on, threatening parts of Texas and Oklahoma.
So we're going to time it out for you hour by hour when the heaviest storms will hit. Your severe weather update coming up next.
Hey, buddy, you're squashing me. Liquid wart remover could take weeks to treat.
Embarrassing wart? Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away wipes them out fast with as few as one treatment.
Freeze Away!
Dr. Scholl's, the #1 selling freeze brand.
Zantac heartburn alert. Stop. Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
The amazing, delicious cinnamon and sugar taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and cold milk. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Crave those crazy squares.
Well, sir, after some serious consideration, I'd like to put in my 15-year notice.
You're quitting?
Technically retiring, sir. With a little help from my State Farm agent, I plan to retire in 15 years.
Wow, you're totally blindsiding me here. Who's going to manage your accounts? This is a devastating blow I was not prepared for.
I'm going to finish packing my things. 15 years will really sneak up on you.
Jennifer will do your exit interview, and Adam made you a cake.
Red velvet.
Oh, thank you.
I made this.
Take charge of your retirement. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
And it just hit us.
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Want a seat in every stadium in the league? MLB Extra Innings and Xfinity from Comcast put you in the front row for your favorite team wherever you live. With up to 80 out-of-market games a week, you can watch the games you want to watch all season long. Plus, with the X1 Sports app, you can get live scores in real time and easily switch between close games. Order MLB Extra Innings right now for just 4 easy payments of $49.75 each. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Comcast.com/sports today.
Skin's ability to retain moisture weakens with age. New Gold Bond Strength and Resilience has skin-plumping moisturizers and proteins from the Resurrection Plant to bring skin back to life. 84% saw an improvement in skin texture in 5 days. Gold Bond Strength and Resilience.
Living with diabetes, it's really important for me to take care of my skin. It's a schedule. It's must do every day.
Gold Bond Diabetics Dry Skin Relief. 9 out of 10 saw noticeable improvement in just 1 hour. Dry skin is under control.
Gold Bond really works.
Currently in our area, 89 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Yeah, you hear that? Tornado sirens going off in Danville, Kentucky Saturday afternoon. While the area didn't see any tornadoes, there were reports of hail there later that evening. Also, severe storms erupting across southern Illinois yesterday, bringing heavy rain, damaging winds, flooding. Tornado watch was issued, but no tornadoes reported. There were, of course, reports of damage to trees and quarter-size hail. So remember, watches mean watch out, heads up, conditions are favorable. It's not a guarantee. It doesn't mean things are imminent. We are definitely watching a few areas, and in particular, severe storms to spring chill. In some of these areas that we could be looking at tornado threat, we're actually looking at a huge cool down. So we'll get to that, all the players coming together. All right, look at this. Starting to see some activity here and through central Texas. Right about there is where we find our dry line. You probably heard a lot about the dry line over the last few days. It's one of those severe weather ingredients that we talk about, and it's really very easy to pick out where it's going to be later today. The southerly flow out ahead of it, those dew points in the 70s. Behind that dry line, the dew points are only the 20s. Think of it almost as a front. It is a boundary, and that's going to help initiate, start up that convection, the showers and the thunderstorms. So that's where we're going to start to really see some of the biggest thunderstorms pop. And you can see it's not that far off from now. In a few hours, we think we'll start to see those things really begin to fire up. It's Oklahoma City, Dallas, Waco, well into the afternoon and evening hours that will be that area of concern, and you can see even into the late night hours, at the very least, heavy rainfall. But bam, look at that, another bunch of showers and thunderstorms firing up late tonight. So really active area, really active threat area, Amarillo, Oklahoma City, down to San Antonio. That's you. But also notice showers and thunderstorms still possible along the Gulf Coast, and as we've seen, it could just be heavy rain. That could be enough of a problem. But yes, even the Torcon is out, effective today, 3 out of 10 for central Texas. That means a 30% chance within a 50-mile radius of that point of seeing a tornado. So definitely not zero. It's a risk. Now, tomorrow, we see that eastern Texas is in play, as well as Louisiana and parts of the Gulf Coast over towards Mobile for severe weather. But it is Texas, once again, that we really have to keep our eye on for that tornado threat. 4 out of 10 on the Torcon for eastern and southeast Texas. So again, tomorrow could be a very stormy day. Another part of the story here, April, you see some pretty crazy weather swings, and this is definitely going to be one of them. We're into the mid-80s today from San Antonio, Houston, Dallas. But watch what happens as we get through the next few days. Down comes the cool air as it all pushes to the east here. We've got 66 for the high tomorrow in Dallas. That is 12 degrees below average. And then you see by Tuesday, Amarillo into the 60s, Oklahoma into the 60s, even Houston getting in on that, as well as New Orleans taking a temperature hit anywhere from 10 to maybe almost as much as average. It's going to feel a little bit more like February. That's more in line with February average high temperatures for Dallas, the low 60s. So you see mid-80s, strong showers and thunderstorms, not just today, but tomorrow. For you on Dallas on Tuesday, morning low temperatures down into the 40s. And then we have Houston, stormy day through Monday and drier by Tuesday. We're right back.
Now at Boston Market, new slow braised pulled pork. So tender, it falls apart. Topped with zesty barbecue or garlic citrus sauce. A bold new taste from the slow roasting experts at Boston Market.
6 smoky hours, 1 tasty dish. Slow braised pulled pork, now at Boston Market.
If you take multiple medications, a dry mouth can be a common side effect. That's why there's Biotene. It comes in oral rinse, spray, or gel, so there's moisturizing relief for everyone. Biotene, for people who suffer from a dry mouth.
Waiting quietly, the key to everything. A magic formula of protein and grain.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
Tomorrow is yours to claim. Kellogg's. See you at breakfast.
Now? Can I at least put my shoes on? If your bladder is calling the shots, you may have a medical condition called overactive bladder, or OAB.
You've got to be kidding me. I've had enough. It's time to talk to the doctor.
Ask your doctor how Mirbetriq may help treat OAB symptoms of urgency, frequency, and leakage, which may mean fewer trips to the bathroom.
Myrbetriq Mirabegron may increase your blood pressure. Myrbetriq may increase your chances of not being able to empty your bladder. Tell your doctor right away if you have trouble emptying your bladder or have a weak urine stream. Myrbetriq may affect or be affected by other medications, so tell your doctor about all the medicines you take. Before taking Myrbetriq, tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. Common side effects include increased blood pressure, common cold symptoms, urinary tract infection, and headache.
Take charge by talking to your doctor about your OAB symptoms and Myrbetriq. Find out if you can get your first prescription at no cost by visiting Myrbetriq.com.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on. Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
Well, coming up in just 5 minutes on the Weather Channel, Weather Geeks Preparing a Nation. FEMA Director Craig Fugate joins our Dr. Marshall Shepard to discuss the challenges that come with preparing the nation for major disasters and FEMA's goals for America's Prepare-a-thon Day. That's today at noon Eastern right here on the Weather Channel, coming up in less than 5 minutes.
That is TuneIn TV every Sunday at noon. You want to make sure that's part of your rundown. Well, we have a Wonder of Weather, part of our rundown for this time of the show, and it's a week of wonder. A week of weather.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. And speaking of Dr. Marshall Shepard, he snapped this picture on Monday of thunderstorms rolling through the Atlanta, Georgia area, and you can see a lowering of a cloud, maybe even a wall cloud there. There was rotation on that thunderstorm. I was sitting at my kitchen table saying, maybe I should go to the basement.
Yes, I did indeed do just that with my little one, but a lot of hail with that one. And take a look at this. By Tuesday in New York, we were talking about not one, not two, not three, but a quadruple rainbow.
4 rainbows, as the count would say. 4 rainbows, the number of the day on Tuesday. All right, Wednesday, we head to Illinois, and yes, some low clouds, but also there was snow flurries falling from these clouds here, and just a reminder that, yep, the cold air not too far removed from this country.
And sure sign of April, you have the cold, but also severe. Check out this stunning shot of a tornado-warned supercell in Texas.
Yeah, you got that inflow moisture there, kind of a rolling cloud bringing and kind of feeding that storm as well. And our next shot, also a beautiful shot of Mother Nature, this lowering wall cloud here. And this was shot on Friday in Kansas here.
And a great example of a wall cloud too. And we had some real nasty storms yesterday, so we get you through to Saturday, and take a look at that. That went out of Kentucky, another wall cloud as some strong thunderstorms moved through the state yesterday. And we saw too some were hail producers, a lot of heavy rain as well.
And we love to see wonderful pictures like that. Just tweet it out. Use the hashtag It's Amazing Out There, and we'll do our best to bring Mother Nature's beauty to you viewers that are at home.
All right, we appreciate you unplugging with us for the weekend. We want you to be aware of all the changing weather, so we'll continue to be here for you to track the severe weather. Just a recap too, keep in mind today, Dallas down to San Antonio, a threat for tornadoes. In fact, for Central Texas, a 3 out of 10 on the Torcon.
And it's not just the risk of the tornadoes, we also have the risk of more flooding. San Antonio, we had about 3 days so far. Over the last 4, we've had some flooding. We can see more heavy rain today, causing more flood concerns.
We hope you have a wonderful day.
Currently in our area, 90 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
thing is that back east, everybody's drowning. Colorado's got all this snow, and California's burning up. Wait till they start seeing that the peaches and the nectarines and tomatoes and lettuce and corn that is being produced here in the state of California. When they start paying the high prices, then they're going to say, what happened?
And welcome to Weather Geeks. And yeah, that's really some serious stuff. We had to go there on Weather Geeks this week, and this is an important topic, the drought and the water situation in California. And we have a key person, Dr. Jay Famiglietti. He's a professor of Earth System Science at the University of California, Irvine, and he's also a senior water scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab. Jay, thank you so much for joining us and talking about this timely topic.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and Jay, as you know, I'm a former NASA guy as well, and NASA studies Earth science, but people don't realize that. Before we get into it, really, what are we talking about NASA scientists studying the Earth? I thought we studied other planets. How are you talking about water?
Well, you know, the space-based perspective is a really unique one. And so, NASA does space stuff, and satellites are space stuff. And so when you turn those satellites around and you look at the Earth, you get this really unique perspective that you can't otherwise get. You can't really get it from observations on the ground. And so, you know, NASA Earth science satellites have revealed a tremendous amount of information about how the Earth works, and a lot of it has to do with water, flooding, drought, water availability, groundwater depletion. So NASA's been making a huge contribution in this area.
Yeah, and speaking of water, let's just jump right into it, because you wrote a very provocative op-ed in the Los Angeles Times, basically saying that the reservoirs in California are 1 year from being out of water. I mean, were you really trying to be provocative, or is this the real deal?
No, not really. It is the real deal. I just try to tell the truth in my op-eds. It's not the first one that I've written, and if you look back at the others, you know, they basically are saying the same thing. We have 2 years of water left. We have 18 months of water left. We have a year's worth of water left. The message of that op-ed was really that we have no snow in the mountains. We have very little water left in our reservoirs, and so that means we'll be relying more and more heavily on our groundwater supply in the years to come, in the months and the years to come if the drought continues. And, you know, effectively, that groundwater is unmanaged at this point in time. So we're in a very precarious situation in terms of sustaining our water supply for the long term.
Now, you talked about groundwater and snowpack, and many people remember learning about the water cycle back in 4th grade. But all these are coming into play now. In terms of California, what percentage of water comes from snowpack versus groundwater versus water supply on the surface?
Right. So right now, actually in an average year, we use about 66% of our water comes from the snowpack, comes from water in the reservoirs, comes from surface water, and the other third comes from groundwater. But right now in California, because of the drought, that ratio has been flipped on its head, and we're probably about 25% surface water, and more like 75% groundwater. And that ratio is going to be, you know, it's going to change and be progressively more groundwater as we work through this year and our reservoir levels decline.
And as you were talking about this op-ed, which certainly got people's attention, I know you've been in quite a few places getting the word out, but how do you really arrive at this conclusion that we're 1 year here? I mean, what type of data, what type of methods?
Oh, no, okay, so there's nothing really controversial about that. That was just a statement about 1 year of water left in our surface water reservoirs. Of course, our reservoirs never really hold more than about 3 years of water. So it's no surprise that after 3.5, you know, in our 4th year of drought, that our reservoirs are pretty empty. There's no rainfall and snow melt to replenish them. So it's just, you know, we just look at from the Department of Water Resources, we just see the numbers that are there in terms of reservoir levels. So it's a fact. It's just that most people were not aware of it.
Right, and that's a great point. And one of the things I try to talk to people about, making this relevant to citizens in the United States, if they had a salad today or plan to, or if they're eating vegetables, more than likely something that they're eating probably came from the state of California. There's a good chance of it anyway. Talk a little, and we have a graphic up just showing the importance of this region for the United States vegetable and nut crop. Talk about some of the biggest users of water and the stressors on the water system.
Right. Well, so it is the most productive agricultural region in the United States, and one of the most productive in the world. And the food that we grow hits the tables of probably every American and also around the world. But that takes a lot of water to have that level of productivity. And so agriculture in California and really around the world uses about 80% of the available water.
Right. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk more about the GRACE satellite and some of the things you do there. But what is the role of wells and some of the things that are happening there in terms of trying to tap into some of this water that's under the ground there? I mean, are there any challenges there? I know there's been a big sort of emphasis in drilling in that region.
Right. Well, and that's because as we deplete the groundwater supply, the water table gets lower and lower and lower, further from the surface. And so we have to drill. That means that progressively more wells are running dry, and we have to drill deeper and deeper wells, which is very expensive.
Yeah, not only expensive, and I read something somewhere about also subsidence or sinking ground there in California.
Right.
Tell us about how that's
right.
related.
That's right. So subsidence it's not unlike what happens when we let air out of a bicycle tire. The tire deflates, right? The air is pushing out the sides of the tire. Water plays that same role. It actually holds the ground up. And so when we pull water out of the ground, in some places, not everywhere, the ground actually deflates. It's mostly in places that have clay minerals in the hydrogeology in the aquifers, and they flatten out, and the ground subsides. In some places, it's happening at a rate of a foot per year or more.
Wow. I mean, in a nutshell, we don't have a lot of time left in this particular segment. Are people taking this seriously out there? We saw some water restrictions from the governor. Are people taking this seriously?
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're beginning to. I don't think that they would have without the executive order from the governor. So I think that really was an attention grabber, and it lets people know that it's a serious situation. And now I think the next frontier is thinking about how we can restrict the agricultural water usage.
Okay, and so we're going to get more into this after the break. But next, we're going to talk about what Jay sees as some of the solutions, and later we're going to talk about GRACE. But next, our Geek of the Week.
Dr. Michael Brewer is our Geek of the Week. He's chief of the Customer Engagement Branch of the National Centers for Environmental Information. Dr. Brewer studies the causes and impacts of drought events and how they differ. He also authors the National Drought Summary each week. So what is a drought scientist's favorite meteorological term? Precipitation. Dr. Michael Brewer, our Geek of the Week.
Think your tropical vacation can't get any better than this? Xperio UV superior polarized sun lenses eliminate 100% of blinding reflective glare and offer the maximum UV protection. Ask for Xperio UV superior polarized sun lenses for the best vision under the sun.
Introducing new Flonase Allergy Relief Nasal Spray. This changes everything. New Flonase outperforms a leading allergy pill, so you will inhale life. When we breathe in allergens, our bodies react by overproducing 6 key inflammatory substances that cause our symptoms. Most allergy pills only control one substance. Flonase controls 6, and 6 is greater than 1. So roll down your windows, hug your pet, dust off some memories, make new ones. New Flonase. 6 is greater than 1. This changes everything.
And just like that, the snow is gone. And off you go. And every frozen second spent willing this day to come is just a warm, fading memory.
Tonight at 9.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers. Tonight at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 90 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
And it just hit us.
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Who needs a witness when you set the world in motion? The full line of Ram ProMaster vans and the all-new Ram ProMaster City. Purpose-built to help you run the town. Ram.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hang Up Tires.
True Green presents the Yardleys.
Sorry.
Spring is on. Start your True Green lawn plan today. True Green. Live life outside.
Morning's got you a little. Grab the good energy of Quaker Oats, one of nature's most perfect energy sources. It's how we help keep go-getters like you going and getting, one bite at a time. Quaker Up.
What you see here is tomato field that's in production because it has water, which translates into product, jobs, benefit to communities. And without it, what you see over here is a fallow field with none of that.
And we are back with Dr. Jay Fambletti from University of California, Irvine, and also NASA JPL. And we're talking about the water situation in California, implications for the United States, and the drought. And before I get your take, Jay, on what we need to do about this, put into perspective for us this drought. I mean, we've seen droughts before in California and here in the U.S. I mean, it's a drought, but how does it stack up with previous drought?
Well, it's a unique combination of high temperature and a lack of precipitation. It is the driest. The last 3 years have been the driest 3 in 1,000 years. So it's unique in that situation, but it's unique in another situation too, and that is the size of the population. And so the combination of the lack of available surface water and the much greater population, say, than the last drought in the late 70s, has made this a very, very challenging one for water managers and in their efforts to get water to all of us.
Yeah, that's a great point. Many of our Weather Geeks viewers might know that we have meteorological drought, hydrological drought, agricultural drought, and the one you mentioned, socioeconomic drought. We saw that somewhat here in Georgia as well. I mean, what do we do, Jay? I mean, if you were in charge, I mean, what do we need to do going forward?
Right. Well, I'm glad I'm not in charge, because it's it's really a tough problem, and I would hate to be a water manager. And I think our water managers are doing a great job, and I think that our leadership, our government leadership here in California, is just exceptional, very focused on water issues. But I think that there are a few things major things. First of all, there's what we can do, which is conserve both in the home and in agriculture. So the first thing that we need to do is really work on conservation and efficiency, because it's cheap and it's easy. But after that, we really need to begin thinking about how we're going to close that gap between supply and demand. If we can't do it with conservation and improved efficiency, then we have to start thinking about things like desalination. We have to start thinking about things like more sewage recycling. We have to be thinking about more efficient or maybe more appropriate crops for California that can survive without as much water, so drought tolerant crops, maybe saline tolerant crops, maybe changes in water pricing. All these things, I think, are on the table.
Now, you mentioned desalinization, and we often hear that in these types of situations, but it's not trivial. There are costs involved. What are some of the negatives of desalinization plants?
Yeah, I think right now the negatives are really outweighing the positives. The negatives are that it's very expensive and that it's very energy intensive, and the energy intensity means that there's more greenhouse gas emissions, and so we may be exacerbating the problem that got us here in terms of global change and how that's impacting the water cycle. But maybe the biggest thing is what to do with the residue, the byproduct of the process, the brines that get left behind when you push the salt water through a membrane, filter out that salt. You're left with that very highly concentrated salty brine. It is fairly toxic. It's not quite like nuclear waste, but it's pretty close, and we have to do something with it. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, that's interesting, and I think you just taught us all something there. And we're going to get into more of this discussion after the next break, Jay, and we're going to talk about a tool that Jay and his colleagues use to understand the changing water cycle, and that's the GRACE satellite. You're going to geek out on this. It's an amazing system. Next on Weather Geeks.
Dust off my soul. Gonna listen to some rock and roll. No cares, come what may. I'm making a beautiful day.
You're only young once, unless you have a Subaru.
The Subaru XV Crosstrek. Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 34 mpg. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Meeting times, lunch times, and conference times. But what we'd rather be making are tea times. Tea times are the official start of what we love to do. The time for shots we'd rather forget, and the ones we'll talk about forever. In Michigan, long days, relaxing weather, and more than 800 pristine courses make for the perfect tea time. Because being able to play all day is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
After years of being treated like she was invisible, it occurred to Mindy she might actually be invisible. But Mindy was actually not invisible.
Ooh, what are you doing?
Can you see me?
Yeah.
She had just always been treated that
You
way.
don't have to look at me like that. There are worse things than an attractive woman touching your body. Okay.
Join the nation that sees you as a priority.
Nationwide is on your side. In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things were just going everywhere. And then it was silent.
This was it.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
Welcome to Strength and Performance from Cub Cadet, the proven innovator of award-winning zero-turn riders. Welcome to efficient zero-turn performance with the ease of steering wheel control and an advanced cutting system, delivering beautiful results every time. Welcome to Strongsville. Experience the strongest lineup of zero-turns in the business. Visit your local Cub Cadet dealer today, where you'll find exceptional financing for a limited time.
Tonight at 9.
One man's trash
Get the work.
is another man's totally awesome beer can space heater.
Hi. Brainstormers. Tonight at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
We have a tornado on the ground. It's moving. We know you can't control the weather.
That's looking good.
So we build things to harness it.
That's awesome.
They hit the water, game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, the Coast Guard's the last line up defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 90 degrees under fair skies with windy conditions. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 94. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And we are back talking about water and drought with a former colleague of mine. I spent a good deal of my career at NASA working on satellite missions, primarily TRIM and GPM. Jay, we also have a new mission launched in 2002 or so called the GRACE mission. Tell us about GRACE and how it works, because I am fascinated myself as a former rocket scientist, so to speak, with how this works.
Yeah, you're right. So it is pretty cool. I agree. And I'm going to use my hands here and show you how it works. So GRACE is actually 2 satellites. They are about the size of a crushed minivan each. They orbit about 400 kilometers, and they're separated by about 200 kilometers. And they actually orbit around the poles. They follow each other around. They're not taking pictures of the ground. It's not an optical satellite. What happens is, as the satellites fly past a region that has more mass on the ground, say because of a big snowstorm in the Sierras, which unfortunately we didn't have this year, the gravitational tug on the satellites is greater because the mass on the ground is greater, and the satellites get pulled down a little bit in their orbit. Likewise, when they're flying over a place that has lost mass because of a big drought, like in the Central Valley, or groundwater depletion in the Central Valley, the gravitational tug is a little bit less, and the satellites fly a little bit higher in their orbit. So they're responding to how much water is on the ground, just like a scale. If you step on a scale, if you're heavier, you crush the scale more than a lighter person. So by keeping track of the position of these satellites, which I'll put away now, by keeping track of the height and the separation between the 2 satellites, we can actually map out the regions of the world that are gaining and losing water mass on a monthly basis.
And where did you first start to look for some of these changes? I know we didn't start in California and some of the things we were learning.
No.
I know they've been around the world.
So yeah, so first of all, it took a while for the picture to emerge, and although this is sort of a lost analogy, it's kind of like watching a photograph develop, and you look at the data and it's getting more and more and more clear. The first place to really express itself as having severe water scarcity, water stress, was India, Northwest India, and that was the first paper that we wrote. And then once we recognized that what was happening in India was groundwater depletion, then we could look at our maps and realize, oh, maybe that's groundwater depletion over there in China. Maybe that's groundwater depletion over there in the Middle East. What's happening here in California? So it was an unfolding process, and one that was really an eye-opener for us.
Yeah, and by the way, we should probably tell our viewers, what does GRACE stand for?
Yeah, GRACE stands for Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment.
Right.
So really what GRACE is doing is mapping Earth's gravity field every month and looking at the difference between the gravity fields each month, and those minute changes are caused by the movement of water on Earth's surface.
And tell us briefly, Jay, are there other uses for the GRACE satellite beyond sort of water? I know some of my colleagues use it in cryospheric studies.
That's right. I think maybe the biggest contribution of the GRACE mission has been tracking the melting of the Greenland and the Antarctic ice sheets and their contribution to global sea level rise.
Now, as we sort of wrap up the show, and we want to thank you again for joining us. I know you're in demand with this provocative topic. What hope is there? I mean, if you had, tell the Weather Channel viewers, Weather Geeks fans, what would you leave us with in an optimistic light?
Well, we're not really going to change what's happening with global change. But if we all work together, we can manage our way through to a sustainable water future. We have the technology. We even have the political will. And now I think it's up to us, the population here in California and really across the U.S., to really understand that water availability is changing, especially in the southwestern U.S. Things aren't like they used to be. We have to make that mental shift, but we can do it.
Yeah, and that's where we want to end it, Jay. I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's been a great show, and hopefully people learned something. And remember, you can find Weather Geeks on Twitter, and we also have a Facebook site. So let us know what you think about the show, and look for some of the clips from past shows on Weather Geeks. Join us next week. We're always here.
Boston Market. New slow-braised pulled pork. So tender, it falls apart. Topped with zesty barbecue or garlic citrus sauce. A bold new taste from the slow roasting experts at Boston Market.
6 smoky hours, 1 tasty dish. Slow-braised pulled pork, now at Boston Market.
How average shirts handle the heat. How Duluth Trading Armachillo shirts handle the heat. Duluth Armachillo shirts with torso cooling technology. Crank the cold. Get one. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hang-up Tires.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
For most people, earning cash back ends here at the purchase. But the City Double Cash Card doesn't end there. It lets you earn cash back when you buy and again as you pay. That's cash back twice. It's cash back with a side of cash back. The City Double Cash Card, the only card that lets you earn cash back twice on every purchase, with 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. With 2 ways to earn, it makes a lot of other cards seem one-sided.
They may claim good performance, but typically cordless vacuums deliver weak suction. The issue originates here. To make their vacuum smaller, most others make their motors smaller and less powerful. But at Dyson, we've invented the small but powerful V6 digital motor, spinning at up to 110,000 RPM, giving our latest cordless vacuums twice the suction of all others.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
Control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it. That's awesome.
They hit the water, game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, Coast Guard's the last line of defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 90 degrees under fair skies with windy conditions. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 94. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? The Weather Channel just gave them their own TV show.
It's gonna be awesome!
Sunday nights.
Come on, wind! I think I just made Mother Nature my
One man's trash.
This is perfect!
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
This is incredible! Failure's not an option.
Oh, yeah, it is.
We got a problem, Houston!
Brainstormers, Sunday nights at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things were just going everywhere. And then it was silent.
This was it.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Beneath the deep waters of the Gulf of Mexico is a ticking time bomb. Billions of tons of methane gas. What if an underwater landslide released the compressed gas in a massive eruption, causing 100-foot-high tsunamis and super firestorms that threaten our very survival?
We certainly could have extinction on a massive scale, and we would put the human race at risk.
Such an event could mean the end of civilization. Humanity's foothold on the planet is more precarious than we think. Cataclysmic disasters have devastated the planet before and will strike again. Can we survive these catastrophes? This is Forecasting the End. August 21st, 1986, started as a normal day for residents in the West African nation of Cameroon. But then, farmers living near Lake Nyos reported hearing strange rumblings. Instantly, a 300-foot spray shot up from the water, and a white cloud formed over the lake. The thick vapor started flowing onto the land, hugging the terrain as it enveloped the surrounding valley. People and livestock who came in contact with the cloud collapsed in their tracks. Within 48 hours, the cloud had dissipated, but almost 2,000 people and scores of animals perished in its wake. Scientists were baffled by the origin of the cloud, but soon discovered that a massive amount of carbon dioxide gas, or CO2, had literally exploded out of the lake.
What happened was that this CO2 gas was trapped in the lake, and it was allowed to build up to very high pressures. Something disturbed the water column. That CO2 was allowed to escape the lake, and it formed a huge gas cloud.
CO2 isn't poisonous. Cause asphyxiation. The people near Lake Nyos had suffocated in the cloud.
The Lake Nyos disaster was a complete surprise to scientists. The idea that a lake would rise up and kill thousands of people was unknown. And the idea that all of this gas could be trapped in the lake itself before the eruption was also an unknown to scientists.
Following the Lake Nyos disaster, experts began to investigate the possibility that a similar incident could happen again, but on a much larger scale, with a much more volatile gas.
In Lake Nyos, it was CO2 that essentially asphyxiated the people there. But we could also have had large concentrations of methane, and it would have essentially behaved in the same way. The methane could asphyxiate people if it displaced enough oxygen, and if it was high enough concentration, the methane could also burn.
Methane. It is the simplest of organic molecules. made up of 1 carbon and 4 hydrogen atoms. It is also the primary ingredient in natural gas and is both a valuable source of energy and a potentially deadly environmental hazard.
So compared to CO2 on a molecule-by-molecule basis, it's about 100 times more powerful at trapping heat than CO2 is.
When large amounts of greenhouse gases, such as methane, are released into the atmosphere, they can lead to a rise in global warming.
There are a number of gases in the atmosphere that act to trap heat near the surface. The main gas that does that is carbon dioxide. And another major gas that traps heat is methane.
It's an extremely potent greenhouse gas, and it turns out there's a lot of it.
Methane is created in an unlikely place, on the ocean seabed, where microbes consume organic matter, producing the gas as a byproduct.
In the oceans, for example, you have algae and little organisms in the ocean, and they grow, and then they die, and they sink to the bottom. And at the bottom, they degrade into methane, and if the temperature and pressure is right, they actually get enclosed in little ice crystals. And over many, many millions and millions of years, it builds up slowly.
Scientists estimate that there is as much as 400 quadrillion cubic feet of methane beneath the Arctic permafrost and at the bottom of the ocean in the form of methane hydrate, essentially a frozen flammable gas.
The methane under the oceans is estimated to be more than the coal and oil and the other fossil fuels put together.
Methane's combustible properties makes it valuable as a source of energy, but its volatile nature also makes it extremely dangerous. The explosive power of methane was dramatically illustrated on September 9, 2010, when a 30-inch diameter natural gas pipeline exploded in San Bruno, California, a suburb of San Francisco. Eyewitnesses reported flames towering 1,000 feet high. The explosion and resulting fire destroyed 38 homes and killed 8 people. But what would happen if a much larger amount of methane were to be suddenly released into the atmosphere? In a 2003 scientific paper, a prominent professor of chemical engineering at Northwestern University published a theory that a huge eruption of methane gas in the ocean, like Lake Nyos, but on a much larger scale, had caused the worst mass extinction in Earth's history.
These large gas bursts from the ocean actually had something to do with big events in our Earth's past, that it could be related to the Permian mass extinction. That happened 252 million years ago, and it was the largest mass extinction, bigger than the extinction that killed the dinosaurs that we've ever seen on Earth. 96% of the marine species went extinct because of this.
The causes of the Permian extinction are not fully understood. What is known is that the event was so cataclysmic that it may have taken 10 million years for life to recover.
And looking at the data, they realized that there was probably a big release of methane at that time. And so scientists are very concerned that that same thing can happen again.
The theory suggests that a huge amount of the methane had been released from the deep ocean, casting vast clouds of volatile gas on the surface. Lightning strikes then ignited the clouds, and huge firestorms caused smoke and dust to block out the sun, creating ice age-like conditions known as a nuclear winter. Once the dust and smoke dispersed, however, the planet would have undergone drastic global warming caused by the greenhouse effect of the methane gas. The result? The worst mass extinction in the planet's history.
Most people believe that that wouldn't happen because the temperature increases would be too slow over time in order to have one giant massive release. It would happen over hundreds or thousands of years.
Given the worst case scenario, where you have a lot of methane hydrates that have formed on the ocean floor and then were released all at once, and something caught it on fire, that could have a devastating impact on regional, if not global, ecosystems.
Methane is quite explosive, especially if you get it into a vapor into the atmosphere and a lightning bolt hit it. You could end up with an explosion that's far larger than nuclear explosions, for example, and could really cause havoc.
But could a cataclysmic methane eruption strike today and pose a global threat? And could humanity survive?
If you have methane, it's a high enough concentration where it literally shoves the oxygen out of the way, one bad lungful, and you're done.
If you're an adult with type 2 diabetes and your A1C is not at goal with certain diabetes pills or daily insulin, your doctor may be talking about adding medication to help lower your A1C. Ask your doctor if adding once-a-week Tanzium is right for you. Once-a-week Tanzium is an injectable prescription medicine that may improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes, along with diet and exercise. Once-a-week Tanzium works by helping your body release its own natural insulin when it's needed. Tanzium is not recommended as the first medicine to treat diabetes or in people with severe stomach or intestinal problems. Tanzium is not insulin. It is not used to treat type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis and has not been studied with mealtime insulin. Do not take Tanzium if you or your family have a history of medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you're allergic to Tanzium or any of its ingredients. Stop using Tanzium and call your doctor right away if you experience symptoms of an allergic reaction, which may include itching, rash, or difficulty breathing. If you have signs of pancreatitis, such as severe stomach pain that will not go away and may move to your back, with or without vomiting. Or if you have symptoms of thyroid cancer, which include a lump or swelling in your neck, hoarseness, trouble swallowing, or shortness of breath. Tell your doctor about your nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Taking Tanzium with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects with Tanzium include diarrhea, nausea, injection site reactions, cough, back pain, and cold or flu symptoms. Some serious side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney failure. Ask your doctor if adding once-a-week Tanzium is right for you. Go to Tanzium.com to learn if you may be eligible to receive Tanzium free for 12 months. Make every week a Tanzium week.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
And it just hit us.
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
In 1986, a massive cloud of carbon dioxide gas suddenly erupted from Lake Nyos in Africa, decimating the surrounding countryside. Now, scientists have proposed a theory that a similar but much larger explosion of methane could erupt from the ocean and threaten all of humanity. The scenario for such an eruption would require an area deep in the ocean where methane naturally accumulates. One location which might fit the bill is the Sigsbee Basin, the deepest part of the Gulf of Mexico, located only 300 miles south of the U.S. border.
What would need to happen is first we'd have to have a large stagnant basin in the ocean that wasn't mixing with the surface water. Then we'd need to have a source of methane. It might be from these methane hydrates that are warming and melting, bringing methane into that basin. Then we need a trigger.
So if you had methane hydrates that were near a chemical transition point, all you need to do is supply some energy. Energy drives chemical reactions, so it could be an earthquake, it could be a volcano, something to supply a violent motion, raise the temperatures, just something to push it over the edge.
Essentially, all you need to do is move water that's saturated with gas a little bit higher in the water column toward the surface, where the overall pressure or the weight of water on top of it is less.
You could think of Champagne as a sort of tame version of one of these nightmare lake/ocean toxic gas scenarios. A fluid that's been saturated with a gas to the point that it can't hold it anymore. And then when you uncork the bottle, you're changing the pressure in there, which is the same argument as changing the conditions, the temperature pressure conditions for the methane hydrates, and all of a sudden the gas starts to release.
And those bubbles will rise very quickly to the surface. As they rise to the surface, it will entrain water from beneath, bring up more gas-rich water, which then forms bubbles, and essentially you have a runaway cascade event, which could very rapidly and violently release the gas to the atmosphere.
If you suddenly have a massive release of gas that comes out from the ocean and forms essentially a cloud of invisible methane. And if it's bound up with water vapor, it'll hang out there for a while.
What this would look like at the surface of the ocean would essentially be what happened at Lake Nyos, but magnified by thousands of times. There would be tremendously large fountains of gas water coming out that would probably create tsunami waves.
Born out of the violence of the eruption and traveling at speeds of up to 500 miles per hour, 50-foot-high waves would swamp coastal areas across the Gulf. The tsunamis would spread out from the epicenter of the eruption, devastating huge population centers from Houston to New Orleans and across the west coast of Florida. The entire Gulf could be battered by monster waves, which surge more than 6 miles inland, much larger and more destructive than the South Asian and Japanese tsunamis. But the impact from the ocean would only be the beginning. Methane-rich clouds billow up from the sea and begin to spread 400 miles across the Gulf.
Methane is naturally light, so left on its own, it's going to continue to go up out toward space. But if you have a lot of water vapor near the ocean surface, some hypothesize that the methane gets bound up with the water vapor, which does tend to hang down closer to the surface. And that could carry a cloud of methane from the ocean toward a populated area. When something like that comes from the ocean, if it does, it could be the size of cities, maybe larger.
Methane isn't a poisonous gas, but it can kill people just like CO2 can if it displaces enough oxygen. If a huge ocean basin or several ocean basins were to release that much gas, we could have that kind of effect on people and animals over a very widespread area.
But there is an even larger threat than the asphyxiating clouds.
Methane could start burning, and that could ignite fires and burn vegetation essentially around the world.
Could the effects of a methane eruption disrupt life as we know it on planet Earth?
良質熟練の技革新1000年の歴史を持つ文化が最先端の製造技術を使うと待てよあれこれってクライスラー
Reliability is now an American thing. Introducing the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import. Find it at Chrysler.com.
Hey ladies, you love it. You gotta have it. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, because that cinnamon and sugar is so irresistible. Everybody craves those crazy squares.
Even the toughest spills are no match. Custom fit WeatherTech floor liners. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech, proudly made in America.
Making a fist. Something we do to show resolve, to defend ourselves, to declare victory.
That's how you do it.
So CVS Health provides expert support and vital medicine
Make a fist for me?
at our infusion centers or in patients' homes. We help them fight the good fight. CVS Health, because health is everything.
Shopping for the family used to cause a lot of stress between me and my budget. But thanks to Fingerhut, we have found our happy place.
Life is definitely sweeter.
Click on over to fingerhut.com and get the credit you deserve to get all kinds of great stuff for the family.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring. Thank you.
We're never having kids.
Pull over here.
We are never moving to the suburbs.
We are never getting one of those.
We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life,
State Farm is there.
Want a seat in every stadium in the league? MLB Extra Innings and Xfinity from Comcast put you in the front row for your favorite team wherever you live. With up to 80 out-of-market games a week, you can watch the games you want to watch all season long. Plus, with the X1 Sports app, you can get live scores in real time and easily switch between close games. Order MLB Extra Innings right now for just 4 easy payments of $49.75 each. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Comcast.com/sports today.
Skin's ability to retain moisture weakens with age. New Gold Bond Strength and Resilience has skin-plumping moisturizers and proteins from the Resurrection Plant to bring skin back to life. 84% saw an improvement in skin texture in 5 days. Gold Bond Strength and Resilience.
When you're diabetic, one of the important things about keeping yourself healthy is keeping your skin hydrated.
Gold Bond Diabetics Dry Skin Relief. 9 out of 10 saw noticeable improvement in just 1 hour. Dry skin is under control.
Gold Bond really works.
Imagine a natural eruption of methane in the Gulf of Mexico has created huge clouds of deadly gas drifting across the southern United States. The thick, low-lying clouds extend in every direction, suffocating anyone in their path. But an even greater danger lurks within.
There would be huge volumes of gas, massive areas of gas, which, if they're composed of methane with the right proportions of other gases, they could be flammable. They could even explode, generating tremendous fireballs like we've never really seen on Earth.
Methane has a very high energy density. That's why we use it as fuel. Once the methane catches on fire, there's really nothing anyone can do to stop it. If you burn, combust even a small amount, that's going to release a massive amount of energy. It's basically going to run its course, destroying anything that happens to be in the area.
Firestorms would erupt across the Gulf, chasing the path of the methane clouds, which could spread inland through the southern states.
Firestorm would move outward from that point, basically connecting the fire to all the areas of gas where the intensity was great enough to burn. It would look like a racing fireball moving sideways through the sky, and if it was sitting next to the ground, raking along the ground pretty quickly as it burned through the gas.